Well, 9,600. That is the number of threats Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger says have been targeted at the members of Congress or the Capitol in 2021.
Yeah, those threats amid the FBI still searching for some 350 people who stormed the Capitol a year ago today. I want to bring in now Senator Gary Peters, chairman of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. Senator, thank you for being here. And part of your committee's work, you had a number of recommendations for why and how to prevent something like we saw a year ago from ever happening again. Now, all of those recommendations were in a year not put in place necessarily. But as you sit here today, how confident are you that we have enough and done enough to put in place in the past year so that something like that can never happen again?
Well, I am confident that we've done an awful lot. We've come a long ways from where we were a year ago today. We convened a hearing and investigation shortly after that event as chair of Homeland Security, and worked with chair of the Rules Committee, Senator Klobuchar, in a bipartisan way to just identify what were some of the security gaps. How do we make sure that we close those gaps and are prepared? As you mentioned, we made a number of recommendations in that report. There were 20 of them. So far, 16 of those have been adopted or are substantially moving forward. The rest we will get as well. And some of those key recommendations are, one is to speed up the ability for the National Guard to be activated, to come. One thing that was clear in that attack is it took far too long for the National Guard to show up. And when they did, it made a significant difference. So how do we get that happen quicker? We also are providing additional resources. We found that our Capitol Police, who were heroic on that day, absolute heroes, still didn't have the resources or the training necessary to deal with a violent mob that had descended upon the Capitol. We've provided those resources, the training to make sure that they have the ability to deal with that. And also, we've been working to make sure our intelligence agencies are much better in understanding what is happening and can give the kind of warning necessary to prepare. It was shocking to me and members of the committee that a lot of this was planned in the open on the internet. People talked about coming to Washington, D.C. and to engage in these kinds of violent actions, and yet that information was not being conveyed in an appropriate way and in a timely way to the folks who are on the ground. And the men and women who are on the front line, whether it was Capitol Police or National Guard or the Metropolitan Police in D.C., all paid the price. And we've got to make sure we support those men and women in the future. And I'm confident we've made great headway.
Senator, we've heard from President Biden today, who said that all roads of this insurrection lead directly to former President Donald Trump. Again, we should say Trump in a statement denying that he lost the election despite zero evidence of widespread election fraud. He also said this: Biden, who is destroying our nation with insane policies, used my name today to try to further divide America. The Democrats want to own this day of January 6th so that they can stoke fears and divide America. I say let them have it because America sees through their lies and polarizations. Clearly, former President Trump there taking zero responsibility, pointing fingers. Do you think he will be held accountable for the events of January 6th?
Well, certainly, I hope so. And I think we have another commission that is looking at the facts surrounding January 6th. You know, the work that I did in my committee, we were looking just on that day about security breaches and how do we harden the defenses for the citadel of democracy, which is our United States Capitol. But I think we have to have a better understanding as what led to that. What led folks to descend on the Capitol with the anger and the intent to beat police officers and to really interfere with a peaceful transfer of power, something that's fundamental, a core bedrock principle for our country is the peaceful transfer of power. So we had to do that, but we have to, what started this? Who were involved in it? And clearly it is the lies about the election. As you mentioned, there's no evidence whatsoever of widespread fraud. It was a free and fair election. In fact, we had record numbers of people who voted on election day. We should be celebrating that as our democracy. But we have the former president, and unfortunately, too many of my colleagues continue to put out that lie. They continue to incite folks and get them angry. And what we saw on January 6th very clearly is that words matter, and words and actions on the internet can translate into actual violence, where violence is occurring and people are injured and in some cases leading to their death. It's simply unacceptable. And folks who continue to put out lies are acting in a dangerous an irresponsible manner.
Well, Senator, we appreciate you taking the time with us here on this anniversary day, but it's an important day for voices like yours to be speaking up. So thank you so much for your time. We'll see you down the road, all right?
Thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.